everyone, hope you all are fine and doing well. Welcome to my channel Bioinformance. So in today's tutorial, we will learn list and loops. So let's start. We need to open Jupyter Notebook and let's start coding for list. Okay, I'm just creating a new file. As you can see, the file is loading. So firstly, I'd like to tell you something about list and loops. So basically, list is a data structure in Python that is mutable or changeable. Okay, each element or value that is inside of a list is called an item. Just as a string are defined as character between quotes, lists are defined by having values between square brackets. Lists are great to use when you want to work with many related values. So let's create a list that contains item of the string data type. For example, I'm just creating a list. For that, I am using first value Homo sapiens, second value let's say pen troglodytes, and the third value let's say I'm just going to use gorilla. Okay, see that I have created a list. Now it's time to print the list. For that I'm just using on screen keyboard. For that I'm just going to press enter and just print A, and I'm just going to run it. As you can see, the list is created. So now let's discuss about the indexing in list. Each item in a list corresponds to an index number, which is an integer value. Starting with the index number, let's see, this is 0, this is 1, and this is 2. Okay, call a value by using its index number. How can I call it? Let's say print A. Now, if I want to call pen troglodyte, so I have to write 1. Okay, now when I run it, you can see pen troglodytes is printed. So that's how you can call any value from the list by using its index number. Okay, if you want to modify your list, so how can you do that? So what you have to do, let's say I am going to modify this value pen troglodytes with octopus. Okay, so for that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write A1 because its index number is 1, so I'm just writing 1 and is equals to, within quotes I'm going to write octopus. So now I'm going to print A. So you can see pen troglodytes is modified into octopus. So this is how you can modify your list. As I told you earlier, that list is a mutable value, so it can be changeable. So till now we have learned that how can we create a list and how can we modify the value. Now it's time to learn how, if you want to remove an item from the list. So is it possible? Yes, it is possible. For that we use del function, and we are going to use A, which is our variable. And if I want to remove gorilla from my list, so what I need to do, I have to write it here, the index number, okay, which is 2 in my case. So then I have to press run, and yes, I need to print it as well. So just I want to make sure that the value is deleted from my list. So you can see in the output that gorilla is not printing anymore. That means the value is deleted. So till now we have discussed how can we create a list, how can we modify the list, how can we delete the item from the list. So now it's time to learn about the concept of nested list. So let's create a nested list here. So I'm just putting the square bracket. Within a square bracket, I'm just going to use another square bracket like this. Okay, and here I am copy pasting these values. Okay, so this has become our first list, And then I'm going to make a second list, and in second list I'm just going to randomly put the values like 12 comma 13 comma 15. This is the random values, okay, which I put. Now I'm going to run these values, and now let's see either it is printing or not. It has to be printed. So you can see the values are printed. So this is how can we make the nest. Let's see how can we call it. This is one of the most important thing, that how can we call the values from nested list. Let's learn that. I write the variable which is b, and within square brackets I'm going to use 1, for example, let's say, and then 0. So now you have to understand what it will print for me. So in this case it's going to print 12. Why? Because in first square bracket we are defining that we are using this list. Why? Because this is list 0 and this is list 1. So that's why I write 1 here. Okay, and what it 0 is about? So basically in list 1, this is index number 0, this is index number 1, and this is index number 2. So that's why I write 1 0. So it has to print 12. Okay, you can see 12 is printed. So now if I want to print let's say I want to print gorilla, so what I have to do? I again have to write b. Firstly, according to the logic which I told you, this is the list 0. So that's why I have to write 0, which is the index number of our first list. Then gorilla index number. It is 0, 1, 2. So then I have to write 2 here. Okay. Then I have to run it again. You can say the gorilla is printing. So this is how you can create nested list. Loop in Python is used to iterate over a sequence or other iteratable object. Iterating over a sequence is called traversal. So what is the syntax of loop? So for that I'm just going to write for x in a. Okay, firstly I have to create a list here. As I already created a list, so I'm just copying it and paste it here. Okay, now I have to write the syntax of for loop. For x in a, colon enter, print x x. Okay, so let's see is it printing or not. So you can see the loop is working fine. So as you can see what happens here, x is the variable that takes the value of the item inside the a on each iteration. Okay, so it is very simple. And now discuss about the while loop syntax. So with the while loop we can execute a set of statement as long as the condition is true. So for that I'm using n is equals to 5, putting a condition here while n is less than 0 colon, and then I have to write n minus equals to 1, print n. Okay, now I'm just going to run it. So you can see it is printing the value which is less than 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so this is how while loop work in Python. So here one more important thing is the range function. So if you want to loop through a set of code a specific number of items, we can use the range function. So basically the range function return a sequence of number starting from 0 by default and increment by 1 by default and ends at a specific. Let's discuss the syntax of range function. So for that I am using for I in, let's say I have declared a starting point 2, ending point 10, and with the increment of 2. So here you can tell the starting value, ending value, and incremental or decremental value. Okay, so then I am just going to simply print I. Okay, now it's going to print the value starting from 2 with the increment of 2. So obviously it's going to print the even number because I have right here to increment 2. Okay, if I say if I change the incremental value to 3, so it's going to print according to that. I hope you liked today's lecture, and if you liked today's session regarding list and loops in Python, so don't forget to like this video and please subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned for more information regarding Python programming language. Thank you.